This is Outnumbered. I'm Andrea Tanteros, and here today, co-host of After the Bell on our sister network, Fox Business's Melissa Francis, co-host of Fox and Friends First, you see her at 5 a.m., Ainsley Earhart. Actress Stacey Dash is back. And today's hashtag One Lucky Guy, we welcome Judge Alex, straight in from Florida. Very important state this election cycle. Judge, welcome back. You're outnumbered.
It's great to be back. Thank you for having me.
Hey, Judge. Good to have you, and especially today because everybody's talking about this big story, more Clinton emails. So let's get right to the news.
Isn't that always the big story?
It is the big story.
It's
we
the
can't
gift
get
that
enough
keeps on
of Hillary.
giving.
That's right. So more of Clinton's emails are about to be made public today. The State Department expected to release a third batch. This, as we get new details, that the classified emails on her private server contained information from 5 U.S. intelligence agencies, including material related to that deadly attack in Benghazi. And there's a report that Hillary's private attorney, David Kendall, has copy of those sensitive documents on a thumb drive, prompting one senator to fire off letters to the FBI and State Department asking why a lawyer without clearance has them and what they're doing to make sure that the information is secure. Now, a State Department spokesman says that it's being held in a very safe place and it's not at risk. Kendall is the same attorney who defended former CIA Director David Petraeus against charges of mishandled classified information. You may remember that. The FBI raided Petraeus's office over that incident, yet no raid on Hillary Clinton or her lawyer's office over this thumb drive. So it's different treatment here, Judge, for what seems to me is the same, you could argue, I guess, potential crime.
It certainly seems that way. I'm torn on it because I think that in the Petraeus case, there was no question the documents were classified. In this case, she's arguing that they weren't classified at the time that when she was sending them and receiving them, things like that. But the Inspector General says that's not true. The Inspector General has said that they had information that was classified all along. The question I have is, were they stamped classified? Were they marked classified? Is it something that she should have known was classified or not? I'm assuming that as the Secretary of State, she should know the contents that are classified. I assume that she's not relying on some guy named Spanky in a back room to tell her, hey, this is classified information. But I guess we're gonna hear that.
She was relying on a guy named Sidney to give her the on-the-ground information. So maybe there was a guy named Spanky. Who knows?
But you know, the idea that you can give this drive to your lawyer, and this drive contains classified information, and your lawyer somehow is a safe protection of these documents, I have a problem with that. Because the executive order that provides classifications. President Obama issued the latest executive order that classifies things, specifically says what you can and can't do. And in most of the cases, it says documents cannot leave the government facility. They must stay on a government facility no matter what. So now we have them not only in her house, but now they're at her lawyer's office, supposedly in a safe, which does not qualify as a SCIF, which is the proper vehicle for maintaining those documents.
You know, Melissa, I'm just not buying that she didn't know what was classified and what wasn't. And we had another judge here on Monday, Judge Andrew Napolitano, and he went through a couple of the emails that he said were obviously classified. She had to know, yet she's not getting the same treatment that General Petraeus did.
Yeah, I mean, she talks about herself as the nation's top diplomat. She certainly should know the difference. And you talk about this SCIF, you know, if you Google it and you go online, there are really specific ways that you're supposed to secure these documents at home. There is no wiggle room and there's no ambiguity about it at all. Catherine Herridge has been doing some great reporting on this, but this is exactly what General Petraeus was accused of. It does seem like, as you look through the guidelines, that she has done the exact same thing and that they have the right to both secure this thumb drive that they're talking about and also the server. So I don't see any way, as you comb through the elements, that this is an unequal treatment between these two cases.
And Melissa, the question is there a safety breach here? Because did this cause or lead to or contribute to the deaths of these 4 Americans? If that's the case, you're right. It could be criminal. I agree with you on that, Andrea. You were asking the judge because, I mean, you can't, she's Secretary of State. This is such a high honor. This is like her going on her Gmail account and sending out personal information, classified information. And you're right, Judge Napolitano said in one of the emails that he read, she does talk about the specifics of the embassy over in Benghazi and Chris Stevens being in that embassy at the time. If these terrorists read that email, they know exactly where he is at the time.
Yeah, there's no way she doesn't know that that's sensitive and protected.
That's right. And you think about it, Stacey, at the time, what was going on with General Petraeus? I mean, he had sent this information, these emails, to a biographer biographer who it turns out he was having an affair with. And I think there's a lot of questions also why he was pushed out of the administration. If you remember at the time, General Petraeus was in charge of a CIA that knew immediately it was a terror attack in Benghazi and put out a memo that said it was indeed terrorism. And her State Department, her being Hillary Clinton, tried to tell a different story to the American
Benghazi
public.
And the ones that were made public, the emails that were made public, they were from the National Security Agency, the Defense Intelligence Agency, and the National Geospatial, is that right? Geospatial Intelligence Agency, a spy agency that maps and tracks satellite imagery. How could that not possibly be something that is classified?
Yeah, the alphabet soup of secrets.
It doesn't take rocket science to know that that's classified.
Before we move on quickly, Judge, does it take only President Obama and the DOJ to pursue something like this? Could they? Would they? I mean, I think there's a lot of buzz out there that with all these leaked emails, is the Obama administration potentially behind this? I've seen speculation, could they be trying to get a Warren or a Biden run in place to run her out because she's vulnerable? Thoughts on that?
Well, I love conspiracy theories. They're always so rich and colorful.
Yes, they are. The hypothetical game.
Look, we know that not just the way the government has acted towards Hillary, but the media as well. There is certainly partisanship that goes on. The FBI is the one that has to investigate this. The DOJ can send the FBI out. Whether
why aren't they? Why would they?
I don't know. Maybe they are. I mean, maybe they are, and we just don't know about it. Maybe they are doing behind the scenes stuff that we don't know about, or maybe it's more of the same, more of the old DOJ. The new DOJ is just a different name.
But it would have to be the administration that she used to be a part of to take action, correct?
Yes.
All right. Meantime, Team Clinton is said to be growing increasingly nervous about a heavyweight joining the 2016 field. Now, Democratic sources are telling Fox News that Vice President Joe Biden's chief of staff was spotted having breakfast with a major party donor. But a Clinton aide is now pushing back, saying that there hasn't been any change or new focus on Joe Biden. But maybe there should be, given this recent poll from Quinnipiac University. When it comes to people's opinion of the former colleagues, Biden holds a 9-point lead in favorability, while Hillary Clinton is ahead by 12 points in the unfavorable column. And just 37% say that Hillary is honest and trustworthy, while 58% describe Biden that way. Okay, Ainsley, I want to go to you on this one. It's a little more than a conspiracy theory, but it's getting a lot of buzz out there because we know Biden has aspirations. Of course, he's mourning the loss of his son, so some people say he wouldn't jump in. But could there be something more? There's a lot of buzz. She is vulnerable. Could the Democrats and maybe President Obama be pushing a Biden run?
This is a huge election. This is one of the biggest Democratic donors meeting with the chief of staff for Biden. Of course, they're talking about the election. Of course, they're talking about their alternatives, especially when you see the unfavorability numbers go up for Hillary Clinton. When you see her honesty and her trustworthiness going down, you see Donald Trump rising in the polls with his favorability, his popularity. I think they are looking at alternatives. They would be stupid not to. It's a huge election. They have to look at the whole scope to determine what they're going to do. And Biden has said he's not denying that he's going to join or he's going to run. His staff saying it's too soon to tell. And his son, before he died, sources say he did urge his father to run again.
Yeah, I mean, Melissa, I think Hillary Clinton has to be worried about everything because she wasn't worried last time around. And look what happened.
Yeah, no, I mean, they've definitely tried much harder to keep everyone else away from the hoop so that it's only her game than last time when President Obama snuck in. But I think from the Quinnipiac poll, the thing that's most telling are the head-to-heads, because that's what really counts, is not the favorability or the trustworthiness, but she trails former Governor Jeb Bush in Florida, from Florida, of course, 42 to 41. She had led Bush overall among likely voters before by 10 points. Now she's down. Biden, on the other hand, leads Bush by 1 point. I think that puts blood in the water.
And also, if you look at all the stuff all the irons that she has in the fire right now, you've got the Benghazi investigation. She's going to be testifying in front of the House committee on that. You've got the foundation, which now there's new information coming out about the bank in Switzerland and the timing of contributions.
Quid pro quo,
it's really looking bad. You've got the server, which is not going to go away. It's just going to keep giving.
That hearing's in October. It's just going to
snowball. The question isn't, is Biden going to run? The question is, why aren't other people running? That is the party that should have 19 candidates, not the Republican, because they really are putting all their eggs in one basket that is not very solid.
And it sounds to me, Stacey, like maybe they're considering moving those eggs out of that basket. I mean, could the White House potentially, I mean, could they be leaking this information? I mean, could they possibly be setting up a run for somebody who is more ideologically aligned?
That's a good conspiracy.
Like that?
I like that.
I mean, I'm just throwing it out there because it's pretty plausible. I mean, we know that the Clintons and the Obamas are not exactly what I'd say warm and fuzzy friends.
That makes sense. I like that one. I mean, really, I mean, she's a liar. She's not trustworthy. I feel bad for them. Kinda. You know, I just think this is a no-brainer for us, you know, home run. I'm excited.
All right. A bump in the road for the Obama administration's hard sell on the Iran nuclear deal. So what a top aide to the French president reportedly said about the possible outcome of a no vote in Congress that throws cold water on Secretary Kerry's main argument. Plus, things going from bad to worse for a Minnesota dentist accused of killing a beloved African lion. The latest on what is becoming a major international incident and whether or not Walter Palmer could face extradition back to Zimbabwe. We will ask the judge.